Northeast Connecticut. I live in Renton. Yeah.
Not too far, Renton. In Middleborough.
A friend of mine used to be a member of this company.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So normally I would have already worked the back down first. Probably should you do the same thing, and then I would have worked the side profile next. Then I'll start hogging out this, the bulk of the waste stock down here. So I'll start up here around 3/4 of an inch, and I'll finish down here about a 1/2 inch for the rough stages before I get to the floor tillering.
Yep.
I can do that, and I can demonstrate that now. I'll show you 2 ways that I do it. When I first started out, I had a butcher knife. Did I already tell you this? I had a butcher knife. I was at school. I had my hunting knife actually. It wasn't a butcher knife. And I went and picked up a small 4-in-1 rasp and found some bottles, and I broke the bottle up and used the broken glass pieces as shapers to do the final tilling. So they don't last very long. The edges get dull quick. So you can hog out bring this wood down.
Yeah, you can get a lot off there pretty fast, huh?
Yeah. Now, believe it or not, I can do a lot of work with the hatchet.
Yeah, I've seen that
Very quick. Have you seen? So, I never let anybody touch this. I'll let you touch it because you're a bull maker. And you understand, I'm kind of jealous of the edge of that thing. Even my son knows not to grab that hatchet. So, I mean, this thing does an incredible amount of work. If the Native American companies,
Yeah, they'd be making bows
like in no time. So, say I want to take down from here, down to there. I can do it very quickly. Try not to shoot you. And then when I do that, I'm going to keep myself, if I was to just start whacking up here, I could split out a big piece, and all of a sudden it could take a grain dip and take out a big chunk. This will prevent that. And then you plane it off. So take your hatchet at home.
Oh, that removes it.
Take your hatchet home and rework the edge and put more of an angle on it. So that you can control it better and you can get a finer shaving. So this bow right here that I was doing last week and that I showed you.
Oh, what? This one here? The good one?
Yeah, this one. That's all chopped out with a hatchet. The whole thing. Yep. After I first cut it out off the saw, nothing's touched except the hatchet and a butcher knife for the outer ring. So you can do a lot with just that one tool, And it's pretty simple. You want to try it?
That's got a little deflect. The wood just the way.
I'm at the point where I'm ready to do the floor tillering right now. So floor tiller first. Yep. I'm starting to get the flex. Yep. Then I'll do the long string tiller where you've got an oval length string. I'll put some nocks in it.
Yep.
And then I'll start doing the string tiller.
Another part I would do.
Just take a deep breath. You want to try it?
No, I'll probably cut my finger off.
So that's
That's cool though. That's very cool.
And then that just planes right off.
Quicker than the draw knife almost.
It is. Yep, it's a lot quicker. And it's a lot less sweat too.
Yeah.
Which is important on a day like today. So
Where's
those
the place to find staves like that? I can't.
beg, borrow, talk to your friends, let them know that you're into that kind of stuff. Ash is a great wood. I use a lot of ash, yeah. Because you know why? It's native, it was historically correct and used a lot, all the way out across the country. It's easy to find. You can find straight growth trees everywhere. You can go out in the woods. I could go in the woods in 5 minutes and find a nice ash tree. Yeah.
Do you have to let it season and everything?
You can start making a bow from greenwood right away, or you can let it season. I've got some bow staves from the early 90s I still haven't touched yet that I've had down in the basement. I paint them. So I'll take
the
I'll take the bark off the ash, I'll take the bark off immediately. I'll get it home, I'll take And usually I'll quarter or half the log right away. And then I'll paint the ends, or you can use glue, or you can use melted wax in there.
Yep.
But moisture will escape through the end grain on ash. And it's not going to have a tendency to escape this direction because it's ring porous. It's got the soda straw rings in between from the early growth and then the later summer growth, right? So it escapes through there like straws. And that's why you end paint it so it doesn't escape too fast and split the end and check. Right? For whatever reason, it doesn't have a tendency to split on the outer ring, which is great. Now, if you take a white oak log, take the bark off, that thing's going to split all over the place. You have to keep the bark on white oak for a while. Hickory, usually you keep it on too, but you got to be careful with all the woods with borers. So sometimes I'll spray it, bug spray. I made a bow for a guy last year. He had had the stave for 10 years. It was on his bucket list to make a bow. It was full of wood borers. I had to go down 7 rings to clear the wood borer holes in it before I got a working layer. Yep, I was able to make a nice bow out of it for him. But those little wood borers, you know, they may have a hole. When you take the bark off, you may see a little pencil dot right there, and you look at it close and you realize it's a hole. And that hole is a little beetle, and it could drill right down.
So you got to get down enough rings.
And then you have to get past it, or you have to work wider around it to compensate for the hole, you know. So yeah, ash is a great wood to work because you can get straight grain wood. It's abundant. It's all over the place. If you see a wood cutter, green wood, you can start making a bow out of it this week. Yeah. But there's things you would do to keep it from splitting and checking, and you wouldn't start doing the tillering until you've done a little bit of drying. So Paul Comstock's book is great because he talks about a stovepipe dryer. Take a piece of stovepipe, 2 lengths of it. In the bottom, put in a 100-watt bulb. You know, get an electric.
Kind of like a hot box for a laminated bow.
Make a hot box. Then you can stand it up. In the first foot down here, you drill holes all around it and you make a screen, wire mesh with wire. And then I can put this thing down inside that stove dryer a foot above the light bulb, 100-watt light bulb. And it's a dryer, and I'll put a piece of cloth over the top of the stave and the pipe. And that'll get like 100 degrees. You don't want it too hot. Just enough, and it'll start drying out that green stave, and it'll speed up the process. You can make a bow within a week to 2 weeks from green if you're careful. The biggest thing is you don't want to let the wood split.
So when you say you follow a growth ring, you literally come down to the ring you want to follow and trace that ring the entire length of it.
Yeah, see this right here? See this ring?
To chase the growth rings.
Yep. Okay. Say I want that ring right there. So I'm going to start.
And you don't want to deviate or run off that ring the entire length of the stave.
The whole stave. I'm going to follow that down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, because I know I want to get going this way to a certain growth. I picked it because I like the fat. But I could have done it with any one of these, but just to show you, let's say I wanted to pick this one. See how fat it is? That's an 1/8 of an inch wide. It's a nice solid. It's going to be hard for you to actually cut through that.
Yep.
So now look what I just did. I cut through the backs of several rings.
Yeah.
See them?
Yeah, I don't see why.
See the rings? There's another one. There's another one. As you cut down through them, you slice them. It's like cutting through layers of a cake, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I chase. Now you can use a draw knife. You can use a butcher knife. So we'll start out simple. We'll chase part of one out with a draw knife, right? So say I want to get to this one. I'm going to take these top ones off. See up here? closer, I'm going to slow down. And then you have a tendency to do it fast, get up, walk away.
Yeah, I get a little heavy-handed too.
All right? Now, when you get right here, yeah, these are all rings. And you can follow this on the side where this comes out. Right? So right now, if I wanted to get down to this ring, I got to take these off. Now, when you hit the spring growth, the ones that look like soda straws, they almost crumble. You can feel it.
Okay.
It's a difference in wood. You can feel it. Now, I would normally be doing longer strokes on this. But right here, I wanted you to see how this is going to crumble out. All of a sudden, you can feel it. And then, when you're getting really close to the final ring that you want to work, see this? Look at how that just crumbles right off. Yeah, this white is harder, and you can feel it. It's harder to cut, it's harder to polish, but it's not hard, it's just harder. Yeah. Okay? And you can do all your final tooling with this on both the back and the back.
Yep.
You know? Simple as that. So, you know, you can get down a whole ring layer in fairly short. Maybe I could get down to this ring within 2 hours or less. Polish it up and then sand it, and then I can start working off the belly. So I do the back first. I've already marked out the sides, so then I'll bring the sides into the lines, right? I'll do rasping to get the final, make the sides true, and then, you know, where the handle starts, which is going to be up here somewhere. So say this is my handle. These are the fade outs. Handles say 1.25 inches. Then I'll go, say 1.25 inches. Then I'll go 3/4 here, deep, and this fade out right here. When I do this to the narrow heel, right? Fade out will be 1.5 inches to 2 inches in length, and then I'll take and I'll measure out. I'll do the halfway, which is, you know, say 15 inches. This is half. Just use your finger as a guide. Gradually let it come up to that line, and you're ready to start roughing all that out. Okay, so it goes pretty quick. You gotta get the road map in your head first.
Yeah, well now I kind of
once you get that in your head and the steps, then it's like this is all automated. Like
I never understood the growth thing. Like chasing the growth. I did, but I didn't. I never.
Well, ash, you can see, you know, ash is like it's got this great road map to follow. Hickory is not as easy. It's harder to see the rings on hickory, because they're usually tighter, and ash has got that spring growth in between. Hickory has it, but it's tighter, and it's harder to follow. Maple can be really hard, because it almost looks like homogeneous wood, but it actually has rings.
Yep.
You look at the end of a maple log. Ironwood, same thing.
That's tough to work with.
Ironwood, it's a good wood.
Is it a good wood?
Yeah, but you don't get big trees in ironwood like you do ash and hickory and maple and oak. Oaks work very similar to ash because they're ring porous. They've got that soda straw ring.
Yes. Yep.
In it, and so they're easy to follow. White oak makes a great bow. Red oak makes a great bow. Yeah. Yeah. You go down. You know, if you go down and you get a 10-inch board, if you can find a good flat ring 10-inch quarter saw, the bias ring, you know, the ones on the slant, and the grain runs all the way straight through. For a $15 board, you could make on say a 10-inch wide board, which is less than 10 inches, right? You could make at least 3 bows.
Yep.
100-weight bows. Yeah. Which is for $5 a piece.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong. You know. So yeah, I've made a lot of board bows. I didn't. You know, the first book I had read on it, you can never make. They said you can never make a bow out of a board. I believed that for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And then Tim Baker and Paul Comstock wrote about making board bows. I'm like, these guys are genius.
Right. And
you
then
know,
making it work.
well, you know, the old guys didn't want to share their experience with you, or they didn't know.
They didn't know.
So, board bows make great.
They do.
Boards make great bows.
They do.
If you know the
Gotta
board
get
to
the
pick
right
out,
board.
you gotta pick. You know, 1 in 20 boards you look at might make a bow.
Go
Maybe
through the
1 in
pile for an
50.
hour, Yeah.
Mhm.
There's a place in Stoughton, Mass. called Downs and Reader.
It's got exotic hardwoods.
It's got all kinds of hardwoods. I'm sure there's places out here that might have some. Up in New Hampshire, I've seen some. You go in there, they've let me pick through the. They've let me pick through the.
Are they really?
They said just make sure you put it back neat the way you found it.
And they
I'm
have
like,
Ipe and everything there, don't they?
yeah, I've only bought ash, hickory, birch down there, but you know, you get the pick of the lot.
Yeah.
And it's nice. They have all that exotic stuff.
That's cool.
And you know, so talk to your friends, talk to people. You know, somebody's building a house. If you see somebody cutting wood for the utility company, stop and ask, hey, is this for the public to pick up? You know, because a lot of times, like they're down in Connecticut in my brother's house right now, and they're cutting for the power lines. And there's cords and cords of wood. And by this fall, it'll all be in somebody's backyard. You know, I've gotten wood from friends that are, you know, getting ready to put a barn up. Somebody just knows I'm into this, and says, hey, need any of this wood? Does any of this look good to you? And yeah, I never say no.
Say no, right?
Cool. So you gotta have a place to put it. It's good to keep it like in the basement.
Yep.
If you have humidity, I would have a dehumidifier
Yep.
going. Don't want to really put it in the attic because it'll get too hot up there.
It's too hot.
Barn may be okay as long as it's not a drafty barn.
Yep.
You don't want to leave it outside though.
Yes.
The white woods, they can dry rot fairly quick. Even in a wood pile covered, your firewood can dry rot.
Yeah, that's true.
You know? So yeah, you don't need a lot of tools. A lot of people always ask me that.
No.
You really don't need a lot of tools. Hatchet, this butcher knife, and a couple rasps and some sandpaper.
That's it.
I've made a lot of bows that way. And arrows. And, you know, with just the vise on my workbench, I forged all kinds of points. And all kinds of little things, you know.
No, well. All right, my friend. It was good talking to you. I'll see you
What's
before
your
we leave. Ryan.
Right, nice talking to you. Yeah. And where'd you say you were from?
Middleborough.
You're in a awesome place for getting all kinds of bow.
I'll have to start
All around.
keeping an eye out. I never.
You know, and if you can't get a 6 foot, I like to start with the 7 foot bolts if I can. But if you can't, you know, go with if somebody offers you up a 3 foot log or whatever, make a spliced
Oh,
handle.
you splice the handle.
Yeah. And you don't need a bandsaw. I mean, it's nice to have a bandsaw to do a splice handle, but you don't have to. You could do it with a
Oh, you
miter saw.
pin it right in the middle too.
Yeah, pin it through. I just use Tight Bond
Type
2.
on too, right?
But and the reason I do it and I can get away with it is because I wrap most of my handles.
Yep.
I wrap most of my
Yes,
handles
yep.
with the twine, so it's very strong.
Added layer of protection.
Yeah, if you weren't going to wrap it, if you were just going to do a leather wrap, I don't know. I haven't done it because I don't trust it. I would use more like a Urac or one of those other epoxies that you read about. Urac 185, I think it's
Yeah,
called.
then they have the smooth on and everything
Yeah.
else.
I don't even have any of that. I use.
Type on 2 works. I've never had it fail in
Yeah.
any of my board bows.
I've even used hide glue for the joints. The
Really?
furniture makers use it, but the thing is, you can't let it get wet. You know, you
Yeah.
have to protect it because it's water soluble.
So that's just Type on 2 in there with the
Yeah.
pin?
Yeah. Yeah, you can see the resin on the outside.
Oh.
Yeah. It's all Type on 2.
Wow.
So if you can only get short pieces, to you know, whatever you can get. You got to be a scrounger. Yeah. You know. And this is all down to 1 growth ring. This is white ash. And I think I was making him a 40-pound. He doesn't get to shoot a lot, but it's 2 twin brothers.
Probably right there with that 40 pounds.
It is. It's real close, yeah. I finished his brothers right before the rendezvous this spring, and I had about a dozen bows I was finishing up, and I just ran out of time. You know, I work for a living, so
Yeah, it's tough to.
this is
tough to.
You don't get paid for what you do
Yeah.
in this stuff.
yeah, exactly.
Well, on a similar note, I scrounge up saplings or whatever and I make walking sticks.
Yeah.
At some point, if I ever retire, maybe I'll be the guy you see at a flea market or something with walking sticks, and I'm always driving my wife crazy. Don't you have enough of them? Whatever.
Yeah.
Never enough,
But
right?
one of the things that I want to learn is how to steam it
Yeah.
and shape it, because I try to buy them, not buy them, find them with the branches out of a burl or whatever on it,
Yeah.
and work with that.
I did.
I'm not that good with it.
I did a
but-
recurved bow a couple weeks ago. It was my first time. I recurved the tip probably 8 inches down. I
Yeah.
used coconut oil.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I wet the coconut oil. Then I took my heat gun and heated it. But what I did is I put the bow in a vise with a circle there.
Yeah.
And then I put coconut oil right where I want the bend to be. And I had tied a big file on the end for weight. And I just heated it with the heat gun, and the oil absorbs and it prevents it from burning.
From burning, yeah.
And then just watch the bow come down,
Yep.
and it made a perfect.
Oh, really?
recurve. Yep.
And then how
Took
about
about 5
it
minutes.
doesn't want to straighten out?
Nope. And
You,
that was
hold
when
it, hold it there and let it cool.
you let
Yeah.
it cool.
Right.
Tie it off so you can walk away and go do whatever else you
And
want
that's
to do.
holding tension of a bow, so
Right.
it would be more than probably a curve on a wood. It's
Right.
the first time I ever did it, and it worked awesome.
Yeah, I've done with grease, with Crisco,
Crisco,
oil,
olive oil.
heat gun. I've also put it in the grill if you don't have a heat gun.
Yeah.
Put it in the gas grill, close the
Yeah.
cover. Just keep an eye on it. Don't let it
Right.
smoke,
Yeah.
Keep it, you know.
You know,
But I was amazed. The first time I did it, it bent within 5 minutes, and it was perfect.
you can get a steel pipe, weld the end cap on it, fill it full of water, put it in the fire pit, and you can stick this down in it, boil it, or you can make a steam box.
Yeah. Well, that's
just
where
a
I
wooden
was
box.
leaning towards trying to
Yeah.
put together a steam
You
box.
can
but
take
I'm not
ash.
good.
Ash. You know, they made all the horse harnesses, and they still make them like for the sulkies, the racing carts.
Yeah.
They put ash in a steam box, and they have a steam kettle hooked up with a hose,
Yeah.
and it goes into the box.
Right.
And they'll let it heat up, and then you gotta move quick. You pull it out, and you gotta be right on it.
Yep.
Know what your game plan is for putting it down.
Yeah.
Let it cool off, and then you're good to go.
Yeah.
You don't hold it.
Okay.
We're gonna get a drink, my friend. It was a pleasure talking to both of you guys.
Same here.
I'll see you.